Hey, it's Alex, and welcome to Vegan with a Passport. Portland, Oregon has been rated as one of the top vegan-friendly cities in the USA. But is it really? Join me on this culinary adventure where we try a variety of international cuisines from many vegan-friendly restaurants, and I'll let you know at the end what I think. Now we have to start our Portland foodie adventure at this all-vegan Pan-Asian restaurant that mostly focuses on Thai cuisine called Norah. They also have a couple of mocktails and a variety of mocktails to choose from. The first time I visited, and yes, I may have gone more than once, and no judgment here, okay? Alright. Anyway, I ended up ordering glass noodles and spicy broth, which was topped with fried veggies. And when they say that broth is spicy, they're not joking. And the vegetables ended up being fried greens, which were very crunchy and easy to chew. Oh my goodness, this was so good. I also ended up ordering this beautiful mocktail. It came with guava, pomegranate, and pineapple. And it also was topped with the most frothy aquafaba that I've ever had. And apparently, they make it in-house. I also decided to order a cucumber, pineapple, and pomegranate mocktail. I found both of the mocktails to be refreshing on a warm Portland day. On a different visit, I ended up ordering the Tom Kha banana blossom soup, and yes, that's a thing. And it also came with tofu in it. Oh my goodness. And I kid you not when I say that the soup had the ingredients of Tom Kha soup. However, the broth actually tasted like banana blossom. I was so surprised. And it was so flavorful. So flavorful. Now let's go check out this unique one-of-a-kind experience. Inside this repurposed double-decker bus is actually an Egyptian coffee shop called Tove. Although not a vegan establishment, they do offer a variety of vegan-friendly drinks such as a variety of teas, Egyptian coffee, mint coffee, and plant-based Egyptian milk beverages. They even have vegan baklava, which is sweetened with simple syrup as opposed to honey. I then decided to order the Egyptian sahalat. This is a coffee-free milky drink which is topped with nuts. However, instead of condensed milk, I ended up getting oat milk instead. It ended up being a nice frothy milky beverage, which also had a nutty taste to it, and I could mainly taste the pistachios. I then decided to get some baklava, which was one of the best decisions that I've made this year so far, because that was the best baklava I've ever had. Usually I find baklavas just to be way overly sweetened. However, the chef here has perfected it to where there's a perfect balance of sweetness to where you can also not only just enjoy the taste of the sweetness itself, but you can also enjoy the taste of the phyllo and the nuts too. Also, that baklava was so flaky. My goodness. Now, let's check out this Indonesian restaurant with vegan options called Wajan. I first ended up ordering this Indonesian black tea. It ended up tasting like black tea mixed with chai spices. They also have 5 entrees on the menu that can be made vegan or are already vegan by default. The plate I ordered included sweet and sour stir-fried tempeh, Chinese eggplant and spicy chili sauce, curried jackfruit and long beans, and rice topped with fried coconut. And then I got a side of pickled veggies, which were long bean, carrot, and cucumber, and they were in this turmeric curry sauce. They also accidentally gave me the onion flavored tapioca crackers instead of the plain large curly tapioca cracker that traditionally comes with my order, but I'm not gonna complain. They're still vegan, and I mean, look at those cute flowers. I found all of the dishes to be flavorful on their own and to also pair well with each other. Now, we must check out this West African restaurant called Akadi. This restaurant has clearly labeled vegan options on the menu. I first started with this side of fufu. It's basically a ball of stretchy starch since it's made from starchy vegetables. And as for my main meal, I ended up having this plate which had tofu and tomato curry sauce, black-eyed peas, whole food rice, and coleslaw. And oh my goodness, it was delicious. The tofu was fried and was crispy. And that tomato curry sauce was bursting with flavor. I ended up buying 2 jars of the sauces to go, and I wish I had bought more. And the black-eyed peas I mentioned earlier was actually a bean stew, and it was a delicious take on black-eyed peas. The rice was also delicious, and it definitely was infused with some type of veggie or bean broth. And lastly, the coleslaw was creamy and tangy. Now it's time to do a little bit of grocery shopping. Let's check out this fully vegan convenience store and grocery store called Food Fight Grocery. This is a grocery store that aims to be accessible to those among various income levels, and they also take EBT, which I freaking love. I've never seen that in a vegan grocery store before, and I also have never seen that in a grocery store that aims to be more health conscious. You can also get soft serve from the Eclipse brand here, and this was by far the creamiest soft serve I have ever had. I was so surprised. Also, likewise, that you'll find in a convenience store, they have personal pizzas in those little warmed ovens that keep the food warm, and you could literally get one to go. The store also has a plethora of food items. You may want to grab a grocery cart for this one. At this store, you can find a couple of produce products, cooking supplies and pantry goods, baby food, a variety of meats, snacks and candy, canned foods, microwavable instant meals, frozen meals, an ungodly amount of refrigerated drinks, dog food, hygiene and beauty products, and home products. You know, just like your typical convenience store. I even saw some vegan wine in there too, by the way. There's even a microwave for you to be able to heat up your instant meals or your cold meals so that you can enjoy them ASAP. I really love this concept of this grocery store and that they are trying to make this store accessible for all. Now let's check out Doe's Donuts. This is a fully vegan donut shop, and they even have quite a few ice creams to choose from that you can even make into a milkshake. I started off with a donut breakfast sandwich, which included plant-based cheese, vegan sausage, vegan egg, and arugula. I enjoyed all of the savory toppings and thought they paired well with the mild sweetness of the donut. And the donut was somewhat soft. Now, while I did enjoy my breakfast sandwich, I did also question if the donut was fresh. Now, this may have been a rare one-off occurrence as my other donut tasted fresh, and also the family I was eating with, they also didn't have this issue, or maybe it was just the consistency of the donuts that are used for the breakfast sandwiches, and maybe I'm just not used to it, but something was slightly off about it. Anyway, as for my other donut, I decided to go for the Portland Fog. It had an Earl Grey tea topping and was topped with whipped cream and chocolate bits. The donut was soft, and I really enjoyed the texture of this donut. And it was also delicious with its herbal notes from that tea-flavored dip. And the whipped cream was light and fluffy, and also a little messy, but it's all part of the experience. I also appreciated how the donuts weren't overly sweet, and that's also something that the family I was eating with also noted. Now, depending on which neighborhood you're in Portland, if you've been walking for at least 20 minutes, one observation you quickly are going to pick up on are these little collection of food carts on the side of the road. So it's time to finally go check out one of these all-vegan food carts called Chubby Bunny. And this place literally just serves vegan breakfast sandwiches, but you don't need to wake up early because they actually serve them all day long. I ended up ordering the croissant sandwich, which is a sandwich and a croissant. This included sausage, bacon, egg, cheese, onion, arugula, and sriracha mayo inside the croissant. The croissant was very soft, but it still had some flakiness to it. And I found the vegan meat to actually taste realistic. It had a very meaty taste to it. I also found the vegan egg to be fluffy, and the sriracha mayo really gave it a lovely kick to the croissant sandwich. Now let's go right outside of Portland in the city of Beaverton to have some afternoon tea. ClockWork Rose Tea has a vegan tea option available with advance notice. When you first arrive, you'll be given a gigantic menu of different teas to choose from, and there are at least 30 plus. I'm not exaggerating. Anyway, I finally decided on spiced plum, and it was so delicious. There was a hint of cinnamon to it, and I ended up getting 2 tins of teas to take home. And then I got even more surprised when they bought me a soup as a starter. It was a lentil soup with vegan parmesan and vegan croutons. Wow. I did find the croutons to soften up pretty fast, unfortunately, but otherwise I did find the soup to be flavorful. However, the portion size was pretty large for what was coming next. You'll see. I did end up getting this stunning yet overwhelming platter of a variety of sweet and savory delights. I ended up getting a vegan sausage roll with a side of mustard, 2 cucumber and vegan cheese sandwiches, a vegan grilled cheese sandwich, a veggie pot pie, a spinach ricotta puff pastry, coconut-based clotted cream, a lemon cream, raspberry jam, a vanilla scone, a snickerdoodle scone, a blackberry yogurt parfait, a Bavarian tart with a variety of berries, a warm cherry pie, a dairy boat with Bavarian cream and berries, and lastly, a chocolate raspberry cup. Now, I'm not going to bore you with going into detail of every single item that I had, I promise you, okay? But I will say, I did think that everything was delicious, and I did think the value was worth the money, especially considering the prices of the other teas in the Portland area versus what you get. Also, I was surprised at how creative the vegan options were at this non-vegan tea house. Now, one other thing I love about this restaurant is how most items are either thrifted or upcycled. For example, all of the dining ware is thrifted, and therefore no 2 people will ever have the exact same teacup or teapot. Also, the little stock tower of teacups in the window was actually made from the teacups that people broke during the first year that the tea house was open. And then items such as the booths at the table, they were saved and then upholstered. And then the decor you'll find all around the restaurant are thrifted items. So now the next restaurant is an all-vegan Sri Lankan restaurant, and I've been following them since they've opened in Portland, and I was so excited. This was probably the primary reason I was so excited to visit Portland. So I, of course, made this my first stop as soon as my train arrived in the city. And yes, I took the train to Portland, by the way. This was part of a 50-hour adventure from the Southwest USA all the way up to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. This was hour 30 where I decided to get off in Portland. If you haven't seen that video, be sure to watch that video after you finish this video. Okay? Thank you. Now back to the goodness of this all-vegan Sri Lankan restaurant called Mirisata. This restaurant has an overwhelming menu of traditional Sri Lankan dishes, from street dishes, some even being veganized, desserts, Lankan Chinese dishes, and of course, there's your traditional veggie-based dishes too. I needed a week in Portland just to eat at this restaurant. For a drink, I first started off with the Sri Lankan iced coffee, which to me actually just tasted like a coffee with chai spice flavors. As a first-time visitor, I was highly advised to order the rice and curry plate. And for this particular day, this included garlic curry, deviled potatoes, tempered beetroot, kale malong, dal, yellow rice, and papadum. And everything at this restaurant was so flavorful. There was literally a dance party happening on my tongue. Each dish tasted well individually as well as combined with each other. Now let's go check out this all-vegan black soul food restaurant. And this is the most versatile menu I've seen when it comes to vegan black soul food so far. And it literally was screaming my childhood. Okay, so maybe I'm just saying that because I saw the word catfish on the menu. However, there are other items such as fried chicken, barbecue, ribs, and fried shrimp. And sides included collard greens, mac and cheese, cornbread, coleslaw, and even that good sweet iced tea. And yes, I am showing you this random store that's inside of this vegan restaurant while I'm talking about all of this delicious food. And I know you just want to see the food right now. However, the store does include many items that are locally made in Oregon and also lots of specialty vegan snacks, so it is a great way to kill time while you're waiting for your meal. To start, and yes, I did order that iced tea and it tasted just like a traditional southern iced tea. Delicious. I then decided to order the catfish platter and decided to go with mac and cheese and collard greens on the side. The catfish surprisingly looked just like catfish, and it also had a seafood taste to it. And this is the very first time that I've had catfish that wasn't oily, and that helped it maintain its crunchiness, and the catfish still maintained its moisture. And it came with this tangy tartar sauce on the side. Now, while the mac and cheese was slightly oily, and while the cheese flavor wasn't that strong, this particular mac and cheese was flavorful with the paprika and the scallions on top. I found it to be popping with flavor and I gobbled it down in less than 4 minutes. And then lastly I had the greens, which were delicious and had a meaty taste to it. Now let's check out this beautiful all-vegan restaurant called Blossoming Lotus, where here they serve a variety of dishes that are popular in the United States. You can also get juices, smoothies, and even wine. And on the weekend, they also serve brunch, which means that there's a variety of breakfast items that you can order. But be sure to get here early because you may be waiting for a little bit. For brunch, I decided to get the Eggs Benedict dish, which ended up being topped on top of the sausage patty, which then ended up being topped on top of a biscuit. I found the biscuit to be moist, and I found the sausage to have a flavorful and meaty taste to it. The eggs were really a tofu scramble, and I didn't really find it to be that egg tasty in my opinion, but I still found it to be delicious. The hollandaise sauce though, oh my goodness, it had a lemon taste to it. It was very tangy, and it even had a mild peppery taste to it. The plate also came with potatoes, which were crispy on the outside, and soft on the inside, and they just tasted really fresh. And the spinach was, well, just spinach. Okay everyone, I promise I ordered a green juice too, okay? To this day, I couldn't figure out why my green juice tasted like there was almond milk in there, while it also had this very creamy consistency, which I'm not complaining about. It was delicious regardless, but after looking at the menu again, I must have realized that I ordered a smoothie by accident, so you may just want to be cautious between the two, that one has, almonds in there and the other doesn't. So just be on the lookout for that. I don't know how I did that by accident, but just a warning. Now, let's check out this all-vegan Vietnamese establishment where you can pick up banh mi sandwiches to go, along with a couple of other items. Just note that there's no dine-in here. I decided to go with the pork belly banh mi. The baguettes were locally made, and the pork belly was made with bean curd cheese. The banh mi was delicious. It was tasty, from that crunchy toasted bread to the tangy toppings such as the house-made aioli, and the fried crunchy toppings on top gave it a fun play on texture. Now as usual, it's time to do some more shopping, but this time let's go check out an all-vegan chocolate shop called Missionary Chocolate. This is ironically next to a non-vegan chocolate shop, which I love. And all of the chocolate is fair trade, which I love even more. You can buy a variety of house-made chocolate bites in different flavors. I ended up getting dark chocolate, sea salt caramel, vanilla caramel, lemon, and espresso. I love how the chocolates aren't too overly sweet, allowing for you to taste the chocolate along with the flavors that the chocolate have. I found for them to be delightful treats. There's even other fun treats you can buy, such as chocolate coated marshmallows and even chocolate coated potato chips. It's always a good time for a slice of pizza. Let's go check out this all-vegan deep dish Detroit-style pizza joint called Boxcar Pizza. And they even have gluten-free options. And you can also get garlic bread and vegan wings. I decided to order the Jimmy Pesto, which included vegan mozzarella, cheddar cheese, pesto, vegan pepperoni, jalapeno, and vegan hot honey drizzle. The pizza was delicious and also very cheesy. When I later inquired about the cheese, I found that they used the Good Planet cheese brand, and I honestly thought they just made the cheese in-house. As for the rest of the toppings on the pizza, the pepperoni had a meaty taste to it, and also that pesto sauce and that hot honey drizzle really added that herb, nutty, and spicy taste on top of the pizza. Now let's cross the Pacific Ocean and check out this all-vegan Japanese restaurant called Obon Shokudo. Here, you can find a variety of dishes such as Japanese rice balls or onigiri. You can also find soup dishes, curries. You can even find okonomiyaki, which is like a pancake dish. And there's even free sushi for your four-legged friend that barks. I first ended up going with this udon noodle soup, which came with fried tofu and fried oyster mushrooms. The noodles were also cold and coated in the sesame dressing, and it had a variety of vegetables. I found the salad to be refreshing. I enjoyed the crunch and flavor from the fried components, and I also enjoyed the sesame taste from the udon. I was also craving some katsu and decided to get a side of that. It was crunchy, delicious, and tasted just like katsu. And the tonkatsu sauce that came on the side with the dish was flavorful and added to the katsu. And then for dessert, I ended up ordering the strawberry matcha cake. The base of the cake was matcha, and the icing of the cake, and yes, I just did say icing and not frosting, the icing was strawberry. The chef told me that she used icing as opposed to frosting so that the cake would have a lighter feeling to it. And I have to agree, it wasn't a heavy treat at the end of a meal, and I enjoyed every bite. And the strawberry taste, it was popping through. And the matcha taste was light, and I enjoyed the fluffiness of the cake. Now let's visit this all-vegan Jewish deli called Ben and Esther's. At this restaurant, you can get a variety of bagels, bagel sandwiches, deli-style sandwiches, baked goods, items in a deli case, and also soup. I first ended up going with the Lotus bagel sandwich with a lemon dill spread on an everything bagel. I found the lox alone just to be okay. Now while it didn't exactly taste like carrots, it also didn't exactly taste like lox, and compared to other vegan loxes I've had before, I've had better if I'm going to be completely honest here. Anyway, however with the other toppings, I did find my bagel sandwich to be tasty. And the bagels alone also were delicious. For reference, I had 4 out of the 6 available bagels of the day. And I'm going to have to say that my favorite bagels were the jalapeno and the poppy seed. I also got some matzo ball soup. And the soup, oh my goodness, this was so delicious and flavorful. The matzo balls tasted like dumplings that were flavored from the broth, and it had the texture of spongy dumplings. And the broth was flavorful, and it surprisingly tasted like chicken broth. Now it's time to treat ourselves to some dessert at this popular ice cream shop that serves up vegan options called 50 Licks. They even have oat milk where you can make a milkshake with any of the vegan ice cream flavors. I decided to get ice cream and ended up going with the most popular flavor in the entire ice cream shop. I went with the mango sticky rice, which literally tasted just like mango sticky rice, and there were even toasted bits of coconut in the ice cream. And this added a nice crunchy texture. I also ended up getting this coffee and brownie chunk infused ice cream. And it tasted just like a chocolate and coffee ice cream, which I enjoyed. Also, I found the ice creams to be creamy, taste and texture wise. Now we have to check out this all Kenyan vegan food cart called Maisha. They originally weren't vegan, however, a couple years ago they switched gears. I decided to get the food for delivery on Uber Eats. I first ended up getting the chapata, which ended up being this mildly sweet bread. Again, very mildly, but it was so delicious. It was crunchy and fluffy at the same time and reminded me of fry bread. I then ended up ordering the baris. This is a rice dish which can be mixed with other items. In this case, it was mixed with vegan beef and topped with bananas and lemon slices. The curry sauce in the baris was bursting with flavor. The dish was also tangy and the beef tasted meaty. And lastly, let's check out this all-vegan restaurant that serves Indian-inspired cuisine. I was excited to see a thali for the first time that I didn't need to customize to be vegan. There were several choices of proteins to choose from, and I decided to go with the kale saag paneer with spinach salad. And I also was so excited to try a vegan paneer. It also came with chickpea masala, ginger agave roasted carrot salad, spicy cucumber salad, tomato chutney, soy yogurt, and brown basmati turmeric rice. While a couple of the sides were good, most were just okay, and the food didn't really have any hint of heat spice to it, so I really didn't find the yogurt necessary. Although I did find it necessary along with the other spice mix to enhance the flavor of the food.
Now, while the food wasn't bad, it also really wasn't good.
Also, I ended up getting this mango lassi, and it just ended up being sour, and it was also huge. And it even came with a straw, which that should probably tell you the size of how big it was. I have never had a lassi with a straw with it. And unfortunately, it was difficult to drink. Overall, I have mixed opinions, but my opinion shouldn't stop you from going if you really want to try out this restaurant. Just keep in mind that it's Indian inspired, and it doesn't say that it's authentic Indian. Just keep that in mind.
Now, compared to most cities I visited in the USA, this definitely had quite a bit of vegan options. From food carts to mom and pop shops to upscale dining. Whether the restaurant was vegan or not, I felt as if there were options almost everywhere. And unlike many cities, I felt like this wasn't restricted to specific neighborhoods. I felt like this was evenly distributed throughout the city, which I really appreciated. And those are all of the restaurants I tried during my Portland visit. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and until next time, bye!